And welcome back to the Metropolitan Polo Club in Tianjin, one of our younger polo enthusiasts on the wooden horse in the warmth of the VIP marquee. We're at the quarterfinal stage. USA leading Hong Kong, China 6-4. We're entering the last Chukka of this quarterfinal as well, and it's crunch time for Hong Kong, China.
Well, Tori, it's crunch time for both, really. You know, like it's sudden death, and we've got 6 minutes left on the clock to see who will. Oh, blatant foul there by Del Walton, and it's going to be a penalty right in front of the goal for Hong Kong, China, and that's what they needed. But yeah, it's sudden death, so whoever loses here today will be going home.
Well, a blatant foul, but John Fisher has missed the last two penalties from the spot.
Yeah, you're right, but I think this one is going to be taken from the spot, which will be in a lot closer. They'll probably take it from where the foul occurred, not from back at the 20-yard line. So I think you'll be a little bit closer, probably have a little bit of angle on it, and he might be able to just roll this one through.
And the umpires determine the position of the penalty based on the severity of the foul as well as the probability of scoring a goal.
Correct.
We're at this 12 nations started this tournament. We're down to 8, playing it at 16 goals, 16 being the combined handicap of all the players on the field, and we do have a handful of some of the best polo players and arena polo players for that matter.
We sure do, and 4 teams going home earlier this week after the sudden death penalty shootout we had here on Tuesday morning, and Fisher then runs it in, makes no mistake this time, and they bring it back to a 1-goal ball game, and it's still USA up, but only by 1, and it'll be now the USA. It's Tommy Biddle bringing it in off the back line, and Escapite just trying to take Facundo Llorente out of it, but now he's gone up beside Torreira, the 8 goal, because he knows he's the danger man, and Escapite now creates a line there, and the umpires think he's fine, and now the ball's been taken away by Guillermo Torreira, the 8-goaler, taking it around in behind Tommy Biddle, leaves it behind now, gets an unlucky bounce. John Fisher, oh, whistle for USA. I think it was a little bit unfortunate there. Fisher thought he'd had it, but maybe they got him on the turning rule, and it'll be a penalty to the USA.
Just see the instant replay there.
Hard to tell from up here.
Judgment call. Now, as we enter into this 4th and final Chukka, often the teams play there where they save their best horses for the last Chukka. I don't know what impact that would have in arena. It's not as if the horses run a considerable distance.
No, but you still, you might have one that's a little bit more agile that you bring out in the last that can turn onto the play. I know that horse there that Guillermo Torreira is a horse called Negro, who I think he comes from the Beltrees farm in Australia, which is the White family. A guy called Alec White played with Dubai this year in England, and that's his farm. And this horse is highly sought after. I think it might have won a champion pony here, either in the Super Nations or in last year's Snow Polo World Cup. But it's now Hong Kong, China on the attack, and Facundo Llorente puts it through. But all the work coming from Negro, the pony of Guillermo Torreira's, and it's now all tied up.
Timely background on that pony.
Yes.
He shows his worth. Tommy Biddle immediately bringing the ball out for the USA, trying to counter that last goal from Hong Kong, China.
USA quickly over the advantage line now. They're into the danger zone for Hong Kong, where if they can get a lucky bounce here, the United States. Oh, lovely shot by Tommy Biddle, puts it through. He's gone for a lovely big neck shot about 30 yards out from goal and just slotted that through. And what a great goal. What a good comeback. And that's how you can take the stuffing out of a team there, when you've got Tommy Biddle, gets the deflection off the horse's leg, then opens the shoulders, and a lovely big neck shot straight past the front of John Fisher and puts it through. And it's now Hong Kong, China in all sorts of trouble down in their corner, being kept in the corner by a very strong defence from the United States. You know what they say, Tori, the best form of defence is attack. And Fisher there, always solid at the back. Very hard to get past him, but the United States have done it 7 times now. High scoring game, Tori.
Indeed, indeed. We spoke earlier about some of the earlier matches being far lower scoring editions. But this one is proving to be worthy of its quarterfinal.
Exactly. Very much so. This is what the crowd came to see. Unlucky bounce there for Torreira. He gets caught up in traffic, and Escapite straight onto the line now. Big neck shot, back shot, I should say, required by Fisher. Lovely little near side by Tommy Biddle, but again, it comes off the pony's leg. Torreira can't keep it. Near side now, Fisher again hits Torreira's pony. First onto the line will be the USA. Will Tommy Biddle get enough on it? Goes forward and off his pony, so I think that will be
That'd be awarded to Hong Kong, China.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be a force there or not. No, they're saying because it came off the horse. So
that's another shot of the
Torreira goal. Oh no, Facundo Llorente after. Yeah, exactly. That was a great goal. But it's now gone out over the sidelines. Back in the main game.
Last goal looked like the scrum of horses or ponies pushed that through the goal.
Can happen. There's the Kiwis watching intently. Very, very curious to see who they could be coming up against in the semis if they win theirs tomorrow. And I think they probably just want to watch a good game of polo because it is a very good game of polo, Tori.
Tell me better. We're down to the 140 mark. Hong Kong, China threatening to equalise now.
That's what they want. They need to equalise now to stay in this game. Escapite can't look. Ball's in a hole now. Tommy Biddle clearing shot. He knows he needs to get it out of there, get it up over that advantage line of halfway. And there is Facundo Llorente. Escapite making a rare mistake and just leaving that ball behind now. Big ride off here. Tommy Biddle goes in onto Torreira. Torreira reads it very well, checks up and dances around him now with the ball. Keeps the ball there himself, running the ball forward now. Leaves it behind for Fisher. Fisher coming through. And penalty has been blown.
Looks like it's being blown and awarded to Hong Kong, China.
Not sure what for because they looked pretty clean from here. There was a hook. Fisher now going forward. Hook again. I'm not sure.
Looks like it's been blown against Tommy Biddle, but
I think you're right. Umpires being down there on the field, one beside the line and one always behind the line. They have a much better view of these infractions. And this isn't going to be easy for Hong Kong, China. One, they're under pressure, Tori, and two, you've got a little bit of well, they've got the breeze with them, which is good. And you can see the flags there up against the backdrop of those amazing buildings here at the Fortune Heights estate. And but you know he's still got the USA can defend this. And if you hit it too hard, the ball can curve, as you saw earlier. If you hit it too soft, it may not reach. So if you hit it too soft, they can also defend it and hit it out of there. So let's see what he does with it here.
Guillermo Torreira looking to equalise for Hong Kong, China.
It's pretty good. He's equalised. That's what the fans came to see. A tied-up ball game with 1 minute left in the fourth Chukka. Any team can win it from here. USA with ball possession but lacking field position. And look at the slow-mo there. The professionalism of Guillermo Torreira just coming to the fore. Now, a big near side by Escapite now. Puts a little bit on it. Torreira reads it very well, but so does Tommy Biddle now. Can the USA, as they run the clock down, just creep his way in towards the goal? He knows the 30-second shot clock. Clearing shot by Facundo Llorente. Could that tell the story? Will we be going into a penalty shootout, Tori?
And that ball cleared into the audience. It looked like Tommy Biddle was just trying to gently tap that down the field, protect his line.
Whistle's gone. Whistle's gone. Quick, lucky bounce here for the United States. Look at this, Escapite through to Biddle now. Tommy Biddle, he doesn't have much time left. He's going to have to go for it. I think he might have hit the wall. Del Walton's going to have to take it around very quickly. He's not going to have enough time. We're going to go to a penalty shootout for sure from here. And that's it. Wow, who would have thought the first quarter-final here of the Fortune Heights Snow Polo World Cup for 2014, and we're going into another penalty shootout.
So all equal. After 4 chukkers, players acknowledging the performance of each other. Certainly well worthy of a World Cup quarterfinal. We couldn't have asked for more. Guillermo Terrera obviously making more of an impact, becoming more of an impact player in the second half. Looking at highlights of this 4th and final chukka. There's the goals for Hong Kong, China. Again, Hong Kong, China being far more active or live in the second half.
But that's a great display of Polo with those, 7 goals scored from each side. They were putting everything in it. They were going to make certain they left nothing on the pitch.
So Adam, now take us through this penalty shootout. Each player will have an opportunity to score from the spot.
Correct. So what they do, they will run through both teams evenly, one after the other. They get 1 shot at goal from the spot. If they are equal, and then the team with the most goals after each player's played their shots, the team with the most through will go through. If they're tied up at the end of that, they will go into a second sudden death penalty shootout. And what that is where the opposing team can defend it, and the team that misses first, so if, say, Team A hits the ball through and then Team B misses, it's sudden death, and the game's over then, and the winners will be Team A. And that just goes on until one team releases or makes a mistake, and
so it becomes more like a football penalty shootout.
Correct.
Should they finish here at 3 goals apiece after this first round of penalty shots, they were tossing the coin to see who will take the first shot on goal.
Now, as we get into the semi-finals, they'll actually, if it was all tied up at the end of the 4th for the semis, they will go into a 5th chukka, and then that's sudden death in the chukka. So it'll be the team that scores the goal out of the field or scores the goal from a penalty. The first team to score in that 5th chukka will be the winner. But due to the resources of the ponies, and in situations like this, when you've got a host nation lending hundreds of ponies and the resources being stretched very thinly, they'll go instead to a penalty shootout to decide.
Unlike some of the tournaments you'll see in other countries, the UK, South America, Australia, players here are not playing on their own ponies. The borrowed horse event, the Metropolitan Polo Club. They are providing all of the ponies, and again, John Fisher, who's on the field at the moment representing Hong Kong, China, being the Director of Stable Operations here. We're going to be looking at some, again, action from the match before the start of this penalty shootout. Welcome back to the Fortune Heights Snow Polo World Cup. We're at the Metropolitan Polo Club in Tianjin. You can see there the mascots and one of our younger polo enthusiasts. We're in the first quarterfinal here at the Snow Polo World Cup. Hong Kong, China facing the USA after 4 chukkers. It's at 7 apiece. We will now go into a penalty shootout to determine who advances to the semi-finals. I'm Tori Dorsey at midfield with Adam Bukert. Adam, so far so good. It's been certainly exciting.
It's been amazing, yeah, and the polo leading up to these quarterfinals also been amazing. But look, No stone has been left unturned here at the Metropolitan Polo Club. They have put on a world-class facility. The ponies have been world-class. Like we said, all of these players travelling from around the world are being supplied horses by the Metropolitan Polo Club. So they've got, I think, 300 horses here in the stables, and they get put into a pool for the and the players don't have a lot of choice in which ones they get. The team is given a pool, and they can divide the ponies through, depending on which ones suit which player. But it looks like it's going to be now John Fisher for the host team coming in. No.
Looks like they're still
they're waiting on something, maybe.
up.
I think they might be waiting on Facundo Llorente to come back on the field before they can hit the ball.
Again, some of the other subtle differences that you'll recognize here in this Snow Polo World Cup, being arena polo, 3 aside. Instead of a 7-minute chukka, we're only playing 6-minute chukkers. Not seeing a lot of change of horses at mid chukka, as was the case during the Super Nations Cup. And as well as after scoring a goal, you actually don't change direction in this form of polo.
Correct. Yeah, the colder weather, the ponies don't get as tired, they don't get as hot, and you can see here one of the earlier shots of John Fisher's. He'll be hoping that he's got all those out of his system before he gets into this sudden death penalty shootout.
Just looking at some of the action from the earlier stages of this match.
So the ball's been teed up there right in front of the goal mouth by tournament director Derek Reed and the umpires, the FIP umpires. I think it's JJ Alberti's put the ball in place, so there's no and the position's marked very clearly where they can hit from, so there's no advantage to either team. And that's the Brazilian team there getting ready for the next match. They'll be taking on Mexico right after this penalty shootout, so that'll be a great game as well, Tori.
Yeah, again, a fantastic lineup on both sides of the field for that match as well. Brazil and Mexico advancing out of the round-robin stage. I don't know if either of those teams were involved in the penalty shootout yesterday to determine the quarterfinals.
Yes, I think that
Brazil may have been.
Brazil had to play France to decide their positioning, but that's Tommy Biddle has missed his first shot for the United States. Could that be the telling goal? Could that be the difference between victory and going home on the plane for the United States? Time will tell as John Fisher for Hong Kong, China comes in to hit his penalty. He hits it poorly, it's wide to the left. So Tommy Biddle now can breathe a sigh of relief because there's still a 0-0.
And no home field advantage for John Fisher.
No.
I think that's the third consecutive penalty that he's been missed.
Exactly, and he blatantly did change the way he approached that ball too, as compared to the first 2 penalties that he missed in the game. But now, Del Walton for the United States from Aiken in the United States. Hits it, and he's going to miss it as well. So the pressure really getting to these players, Tori.
They're allowing that ball to roll on the field, and I don't know if that's a wise decision given the bumps and crevices from the snow.
Yeah, I think it's 6-1, half a dozen the other with this. If you get it up into the air, you're at the mercy of the wind. If you roll it along the ground, you're at the mercy of the divots. So I think it's Facundo Llorente, nephew of the great Tommy Llorente.
So Hong Kong having a slight advantage if they can score this penalty shot.
It'll certainly put the pressure on the last hitter for the United States. Looks clean, will it reach? Only just, but it's enough. He'll take it. 1-0 now.
Momentarily, I thought that was going to go to the left as well.
It didn't look very promising, but it was there. It was good enough. He'll take the points.
So Pelon Escapite, he must make this penalty shot to force Hong Kong, China to play their last shot to win this game. But this is a must scenario now.
Hits that one very relaxed. Gave it enough, and it's a point to the United States.
So it comes down to her last player to take a penalty shot for Hong Kong, China. I think it's aptly Guillermo Terrera, if I'm not mistaken. Yes,
that's him.
So the 8-goal player, the last, and this is for the win for Hong Kong, China.
Can he seal victory like he's done here before? The highest rated player in the tournament. Hits it cleanly. And they have won. The host nation and defending champions have won through penalty shootout. They have knocked the United States out in the first game of the quarterfinals. An unfortunate loss for the United States, but a very good victory for the host nation, Hong Kong, China.
That was a great start to our quarterfinals here at the Fortune Heights Super Nations Cup. 7-all at the end of regulation, going into a penalty shootout. And again, Hong Kong, China, the defending champions, victorious on this goal by Guillermo Terrera.
The backswing there was just, you see how he gets a really good backswing on it? Just bang, opens the shoulders, lovely shot. And look at them, they're through to the semis now on Saturday. Hong Kong, China with a great win. And
we're going to take a short break, but we'll be returning with more live action from the Fortune Heights Snow Polo World Cup in Tianjin, China.